Why do Americans swipe through dating apps like they're ordering takeout while Indians have their parents arrange marriages? Here's the thing about love and dating. It's not just about finding a partner, it's about family honor, social status, and centuries of cultural evolution disguised as romance. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of global dating customs. And trust me, some of these approaches will make you question everything you thought you knew about finding love. Let's start with something that'll blow your individualistic Western mind. In most of the world, dating isn't just about two people. It's a family affair with more stakeholders than a corporate merger. Americans treat dating like personal shopping. We swipe through profiles, optimize for compatibility, and make independent choices based on individual preferences. We've literally gamified romance and convinced ourselves that algorithmic matching is more reliable than human intuition. But take that attitude to a traditional Asian family, and you've just announced that you don't value family wisdom, community input, or long-term stability. The irony? Americans have the highest divorce rates, while cultures with arranged marriages often report higher relationship satisfaction. Maybe our romantic individualism isn't as effective as we think. But here's where it gets really interesting. Different cultures have completely opposite philosophies about what love actually represents. French dating culture treats romance as an art form. Seduction, mystery, and intellectual connection are more important than practical compatibility. They'll spend hours in cafes discussing philosophy and literature before even considering physical attraction. It's dating as cultural performance. Meanwhile, German dating culture is refreshingly direct. They'll literally tell you their relationship intentions on the first date and expect clear communication about expectations. No games, no mystery, just honest evaluation of mutual compatibility. Americans fall somewhere in between, but we've added the twist of treating dating like a numbers game where more options somehow equals better outcomes. Now let's talk about the role of family involvement, because this reveals fundamental cultural assumptions about individual autonomy versus collective wisdom. Indian arranged marriage culture isn't about forcing unwilling people together. It's about leveraging family networks, social knowledge, and generational experience to find compatible partners. Parents aren't controlling their children's lives. They're providing quality-controlled matchmaking services based on decades of relationship observation. Korean families take this even further, where dating someone means potentially joining their entire family system. The relationship isn't just between two people, it's between two family networks with different values, expectations, and social obligations. The timing aspect reveals even deeper cultural values about life priorities and relationship goals. Italian dating culture emphasizes enjoying the courtship process. Why rush toward marriage when dating itself can be pleasurable and meaningful? They'll date the same person for years without feeling pressure to define the relationship or move toward formal commitment. American dating culture has optimized for efficiency. We want to know within a few dates whether someone has relationship potential and quickly move toward exclusivity or breakup. We've literally industrialized romance and turned it into a decision-making process with timelines and milestones. Let's dive into the physical intimacy differences, because this is where cultural misunderstanding gets really complicated. Scandinavian dating culture is remarkably casual about physical relationships. Hookups don't carry moral judgment, and sexual compatibility is considered important information for relationship decisions. It's treated as natural human behavior rather than moral statement. Meanwhile, many Middle Eastern and traditional religious cultures maintain strict separation between casual dating and marriage-oriented courtship. Physical intimacy is reserved for committed relationships or marriage, not because of shame, but because it's considered too meaningful for casual encounters. Same human behavior, completely different moral frameworks. The economic dimensions of dating reveal fascinating cultural assumptions about gender roles and financial responsibility. Traditional Chinese dating culture expects men to demonstrate financial stability before pursuing serious relationships, owning property, having stable income, and being able to support a family. It's not gold digging, it's practical assessment of partnership viability. American dating culture theoretically promotes equality, but still often defaults to men paying for dates and being expected to make romantic gestures involving money. Dutch dating culture takes equality seriously. Splitting costs is normal and expected, and financial independence is valued over traditional provider roles. Here's something that'll mess with your head. The concept of exclusive dating is completely cultural. Americans have elaborate relationship stages: talking, dating, exclusively dating, being in a relationship, being serious, engagement, marriage. Each stage has different expectations and social meanings. But in many European cultures, if you're dating someone regularly, exclusivity is assumed without explicit conversation. The American need to define the relationship seems neurotic and insecure. Meanwhile, some cultures practice polygamous dating where having multiple simultaneous relationships is acceptable as long as everyone knows and consents. The role of social media and technology in modern dating creates interesting cultural tensions. American dating app culture has turned romance into an efficiency optimization problem. We use algorithms, photo optimization, and strategic messaging to maximize matches. We've literally applied business metrics to love. But many traditional cultures are adapting technology to preserve cultural values. There are Muslim dating apps that include family involvement, Jewish matchmaking platforms that emphasize religious compatibility, and Indian matrimonial sites that include horoscope matching and family background verification. Let's talk about the age and timeline expectations, because this reveals deep cultural assumptions about life priorities and social pressure. Korean dating culture includes intense social pressure to couple up by certain ages. Being single past 30 can affect career prospects and social standing. The pressure isn't just personal preference, it's social conformity and family expectations. American culture theoretically supports individual choice about relationship timing, but we still have subtle pressure around biological clocks and social milestones. Meanwhile, some European cultures are increasingly comfortable with permanent singlehood as a valid life choice rather than a failure to find someone. The gender dynamics in dating reveal fascinating cultural evolution around power and equality. Traditional Russian dating culture maintains strong gender role expectations. Men pursue, women choose, and elaborate courtship displays are expected. It's romantic theater with clear scripts and expectations. Scandinavian cultures have moved toward complete gender equality in dating. Women can pursue men, anyone can pay for dates, and traditional gender roles are considered outdated. American dating culture is caught in transition. We promote equality but still often default to traditional patterns while feeling guilty about it. Regional variations within countries add another layer showing how urbanization and globalization affect traditional practices. Urban Chinese youth increasingly date Western style despite family pressure for traditional arrangements. Rural American communities maintain more conservative dating practices despite national cultural shifts toward casual relationships. Big city dating everywhere tends to be more individualistic and efficiency-focused, while smaller communities preserve relationship building and family involvement traditions. The religious and spiritual dimensions of dating reveal how deeply romance connects to meaning and identity. Islamic dating culture includes specific guidelines about appropriate interaction between unmarried people, not because physical attraction is shameful, but because it's considered powerful enough to require careful management. Christian purity culture emphasizes emotional and physical restraint until marriage as spiritual discipline. Buddhist approaches to relationships emphasize mindfulness and non-attachment, which can seem contradictory to Western romantic ideals about passionate love and exclusive commitment. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to acknowledge. Every culture thinks their dating approach produces the best relationships, but they're all just different strategies for managing the fundamental tension between individual desire and social stability. Americans think choice and compatibility testing lead to better marriages. Traditional cultures think family wisdom and gradual commitment building create stronger partnerships. French culture thinks intellectual and emotional connection matter more than practical compatibility. Each approach optimizes for different values: passion, stability, individual fulfillment, family harmony, social status, or spiritual growth. The success metrics for relationships also vary dramatically between cultures. American culture measures relationship success by individual happiness and personal fulfillment. Traditional cultures measure success by family harmony, social stability, and intergenerational continuity. Some cultures prioritize passionate love, others emphasize companionate partnership, and still others focus on spiritual growth through relationship challenges. We're all trying to solve the same human need for connection, but we're using completely different definitions of what successful love looks like. So what can we learn from this global diversity in dating approaches? Maybe American efficiency culture could benefit from Italian enjoyment of the courtship process. Perhaps traditional family involvement could help Western cultures make better long-term partnership decisions. Maybe Scandinavian gender equality could improve dating cultures that still operate on outdated power dynamics. The key insight is that effective dating isn't about finding the right approach. It's about understanding what you actually value in relationships and choosing practices that align with those priorities. The real question isn't which culture has the best dating style. It's whether we're honest enough to examine what our dating practices actually reveal about our values, and whether those values are serving us well in our search for meaningful connection. If you enjoyed this cultural deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe for more mind-bending cultural insights, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Which culture should I decode next? See you in the next one.